Good afternoon. We've had some great information so far today about meals during the school day. But during this next session, we're going to hear about meals outside of school hours. I have some kids that are hungry every day, even after school ends. First, we're going to hear from two different organizations, one a school district and the other a community organization. Both are state-approved meal sponsors that serve healthy nutrition at no cost to families after the school day ends, and they also serve meals in the summer. Then we're going to hear from two state agencies, one now and then another after the break, that administer these federally supported child nutrition programs and others beyond those we've been talking about today for the most part. And then we're going to hear finally from two UNC students who worked in Eastern North Carolina this summer and worked with meal sponsors specifically, and you're going to hear all about their experience. So we thank you that you allowed them to be able to share their story. They are working very hard to expand participation in these out-of-school mealtime programs, and all of them are greatly underutilized programs. At best, ever 12% of summer meals received for those children of the 12% of the, I'm sorry, of the population that we consider to be free and reduced price eligible. At most 12% have received summer meals. So lots and lots of work to do. So we thank you and listen to them now.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I want to start my presentation with a short video. Pretty much this is going to say everything I need to say, but I'll finish it off as soon as it's over.
So tell me, why do you come in here every day? Where do you go after this?
We go home. We go, sometimes if they don't have enough counselors, we go to the Brio-Y.
Gotcha. So you're in after school care.
Yeah. And after the snack, we get to go to the gym. And sometimes we get to go outside. But not every day. And we don't.
Why are you staying for an after-school snack?
I have football workouts.
Why are y'all getting an after-school snack?
Because we play baseball.
Hi, I'm Madison. I'm a counselor for the YMCA.
All right, and tell me kind of what is going on here right now.
So we do a snack once the kids get out. The school provides it, so they get a full, pretty much like what they would get at lunch, and it gives a whole meal to them. So you don't have to worry about kids going home and being hungry. We do have a lot of kids who are on scholarships and stuff throughout our program, and so this provides them a meal that sometimes they wouldn't get at home.
Chips, are they yummy?
because it's a snack for after school if you're hungry and something to eat.
What's your favorite after-school snack that's served?
The pizza.
So, my favorite food is usually either pizza, Salisbury dippers, apples, oranges, and all of that.
And my favorite food is pizza, hamburger, dips, where you dip chips and salsa, and sometimes cookies like we got today.
Cool.
Get cookies. We love to get the cookies, and I like to get the chippies. The chicken sandwiches.
So the kids, they love the chips and salsa. Not necessarily the salsa, but they love the chips. They'll trade them amongst each other. They like a lot of the fruits, which is kind of surprising. And they really like the Salisbury dippers, which are like the cheese sticks dippers. And sometimes the chicken sandwiches can be pretty big among them. But pretty much they all like them. I don't think we have very many cookie eaters.
Why do you appreciate the after-school food program?
I appreciate it because it gives me energy for practice.
Okay. So you saw that a lot of the kids called it a snack, but I think that's because we had years of after-school snack, and when we switched to the at-risk after-school meal program, they just weren't used to saying that. So, but they love it, and I wanted to just show a visual of what our students are seeing. This program makes such an impact on them. I don't think a lot of districts do this, but I would really encourage any school nutrition department that could to take the extra step and do this. Some of our students, they don't eat when they leave school. This is it. And when they stay after, they may not get home till 8 or 9 at night, and they're hungry. I am coming at this from a mom of people that used to be in school, as well as a school nutrition administrator. And we do these programs at no cost, and they fall under the USDA umbrella. So we need to also push for the no cost universal meals in the other areas as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Next, this person coordinates summer and after-school meal programs through the Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina. Who is Nicole Caudill with Providence. Welcome, Nicole.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Shout out to my hype team back there. Here's you guys. Thank you. I will say I was checking in this afternoon, and the lady checking in said, oh, you can probably find, a single seat at one of the tables in there. It's quite a full house. And I said, oh my goodness, how many people do we have today? And she says, about 400. And I said, oh my goodness, I have to go and speak in front of all those people. When I walked into the room, though, I was really struck with the grandiosity of it, if you will, because we're all working toward the same goal, and that is to get more food in front of kids during out-of-school time and during school time. So thank you guys for what you do. I hope that this time today encourages you all to work harder and get even more food in front of kids to eat. So just wanted to say that before I began. I went without introducing myself. My name is Nicole, and I'm the Senior Manager of Community Meals for Providence of Second Harvest Food Bank. We are a community sponsor for the Child and Adult Care Food Program, the At-Risk After-School Meals Program, and the Summer Food Service Program. If you will, advance to the next slide. These are some numbers here just to give you guys a grasp of the scale of our programming right now. During COVID-19, I think we all have sort of a similar story. Our operations really froze for a bit, and then we really expanded. We saw demand increase drastically. At the peak of the pandemic throughout 2020, we were serving up to 40,000 meals per week, strictly to kids at after-school sites, and then transitioning into summer sites and the whole 9 yards. At this point in our programming, though, we have kind of taken a step back and we're beginning to get a little bit more specialized. We have since decreased to about 10,000 meals per week right now. And a large percentage of that, I know that today is focused on kids' meals and, no kid hungry, but where a kid comes from, it's not just the kid in the household that's hungry. It's likely the entire household that hunger can affect. And so we've since transitioned into offering some more inclusive programming. About 50% of what we're offering right now is senior meal programming. And then the remaining 50% of that programming is comprised of the CACFP and SFSP programs, different grant programming, and also some medically tailored meal programming. As we all know far too well, food is a necessity to survive. I do not intend to make the world's largest understatement with that, but it's a necessity for kids to be able to function in school and for us to be able to function in our lives. Food can heal. Food is medicine. And so we're beginning to delve into what does that look like for our program. As we begin this medically tailored meals portion of our programming, we're starting to explore the question of what do we do when we deliver a meal to mom with diabetes and she's got 4 kids in the house too? How are we going to address that? And so far, we're still navigating it. We've got some good ideas. But one of the things that we have found really effective in our programming thus far is making sure that the at-risk after-school, it's such a mouthful, sites that we have can also transition into being summer sites to provide a continuity of service and to make sure that we're decreasing the gaps in care there. So you can go to the next slide. So that leads me to this point that community organizations such as ourselves, food banks, food pantries, a YMCA, anyone really is really uniquely positioned to serve as a community sponsor through both the CACFP and the SFSP programs. There's immense potential for partnership between both the sites and food banks like ourselves through the other resources that we offer. For example, they can access more food resources. Every site that we have is not necessarily a food bank partner agency, if you will. There's different, qualifiers, but we have the potential to access more food for those kids to take home with them. We also offer a number of grant programs for meals for families, so meals more than just for the kids at the home. And the food bank also has quite a robust backpack program at some of the local schools in our areas. I would be remiss not to mention one of the most fun parts of our program, which is our nutrition education component. So shout out to our nutrition education team in the back. Whenever we go to sign up a new site for whether it be SFSP or the Summer Food Service Program, or that at-risk after-school meals program, we introduce them to our nutrition educators who then go and do different activities with them. One of the most popular ones, believe it or not, is the Rethink Your Drink campaign, where we're teaching kids the importance of minimizing those sugary beverages like sodas and juices, which I love, and opting for something a little more healthier. You can advance to the next slide. I have mentioned a whole slew of programming thus far, and I would be remiss not to mention that this is not at all possible without our volunteers. Our production manager, his name is Butch Ettinger, and there's this running joke in our group. whenever he sees Heather, my director, and I coming, he says, "Oh my goodness, what idea do they have now?" He is such a yes man, and he manages all of this stuff to make the meals get the meals out of the kitchen and into people's hands. And so at this point, we're going to show a really quick video highlighting our volunteers, and you'll be able to see a little bit more of our kitchen space as well. Keep in mind, you'll also hear mention of both kids and senior meal programming in this video.
The Community Meals program is sending out hot, cold, or frozen meals out to after-school programs, adult sites, senior living sites, all throughout the counties. The new kitchen space is fabulous. I mean, we've almost doubled our square footage, and we're already trying to outgrow it by making more meals. Now we'll be able to do anywhere from 25,000 plus a week. This program is sending meals out to people. They don't have to worry about preparing them, fixing them. They're ready to go. Sometimes certain programs we're sending hot, so all they have to do is open them up, eat them. Others, they have all the reheating instructions on it, so there's no prep, especially for people who are limited in their abilities. When you're volunteering here at Community Meals, you're helping us to feed people, and you don't have to have big culinary background. I mean, we're gonna have everything set up for you. We're gonna help you, we're gonna show you, we're gonna teach you, and it can be as simple as just scooping something into our trays that are gonna get sealed, or maybe you're gonna be putting labels on them. We also need help doing all our individually wrapped stuff. We have rolls, buns, biscuits, cookies, everything. We need hands for that. We need volunteers. Volunteers are the backbone of our program. There's only a few of us here. Volunteers are what makes it go. I love it. You're getting to feed people. You go out there and you see them. You see it on the kids' faces. You see it on the adults. Sometimes we're the only faces they see when we do a delivery for a while. So it's all, you check in on them, you get to know them. Our drivers get to know everybody by name. You go in and you see, and you find out, all of our team knows it's not just a job. You're making an impact, an immediate impact on someone when you hand them that meal.
So as you can see, there's a lot of different factors that go into running such a big program like this, but it is totally feasible for community sponsors like yourselves, and I really, really encourage that if you guys have any involvement as a community organization, that you explore the possibility of being a sponsor with these two programs. Thank you everyone for your time.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you want to know about the zebra, come find me afterwards. It's quite a story. So I'm very excited to be here today, and I don't know about you, but I'm really excited after today. I'm re-energized. I'm ready to go. I attended the very first conference that we had, or that CHI put on, and I have to say, we have grown leaps and bounds in everyone here who is working on hunger, and I'm just so excited for that, and just ready to just go take on the world after today. So what I'm going to talk about today is a lot more of the exciting things that are happening in the summer nutrition programs. Believe it or not, we've already kicked off summer for the year. We're just in February. We kicked off in January because to have really successful nutrition programs, you have to start really early. So we started with our summer paloozas, and the theme this year was Destination Summer, the place to be. So the place for kids to be this summer. So we talked about a lot of different things. We talked about marketing and advocacy, and we talked about all of the different things that you need to include elements for your school nutrition program for it to be successful. So we talked about location, and we talked about the North Carolina Capacity Builder and some of the other tools that are available to, figure out where there's more need in the summer. Tamara talked about only 12% of the need being met by summer nutrition programs, so we're always looking to expand locations. We talked about fun in the sun, so all the different resources and fun things that you can do with your summer nutrition programs to attract kids to your program. We also talked about the meal appeal, because if the meals aren't appealing to kids, they're not going to come. So we talked about all those three things, and our programs in North Carolina do a really good job with that already. So we took it a step further, and for all my public health friends in the room, and I see a lot of you out here, we talked about social determinants of health. So these are the things that impact your health. It's where you live, it's where you work, it's where you play, it's where you age. And all of these things have an impact on your health. During the pandemic, we noticed that when we had places that we called nutrition hubs, where we brought a lot of different services together. So we'd have school meals or summer meals, but we would also have maybe a food box that would go home with the family, or we'd have mental health services, or we would have some other opportunity for families that we really saw an increase in participation. So one of the things that we talked about to make your summer nutrition program the destination to be was to partner with these different organizations, and many of you are in the room here today. So go to where the families are already going to find services and provide meals. So we actually help them identify some of those locations through Healthy North Carolina 2030. And so there are a lot of things that they could go to find that are individual to their community, all the different health impacts in their community to see where they could partner with people. So we're really excited about that, you know, bringing in some other ways to partner with all of you wonderful people out here. So there's a couple photos on the next couple of slides from our summer paloozas and Destination Summer. We had a lot of fun, and thank you to our partners at Carolina Hunger Initiative because they put on this program with us. Next slide, please. All right, so just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of where we stand in North Carolina. I hope some of you, how many of you got the quiz question right, the game show question right for 3,425 sites? I'm glad the DPI team over here got that right. Good job for you guys. So we have 214 sponsors. Last summer we had 214 sponsors, 3,425 sites. That really sounds like a lot. That's a lot of site applications to manage, right? So and a lot for you guys to fill out. We served over 3 million breakfast meals, over 5.5 million lunch meals. We also had some supper and snacks, so we're really excited about that and expanding the reach on all of those. So what we do is we take this data, and on the next slide we'll show you some of the community profiles that we put together. So we provide the data to Carolina Hunger Initiative. Dr. Soldavini takes that information and does her magic with it, and she puts it into a profile based on each community. So you can see an example of that on the screen. And it gives really powerful information for you to use in your community to, one, identify where the needs aren't being met, maybe times of the year when the needs aren't being met, and just to give you some talking points to use with your local leaders. On the next slide, we will see some of the things that you can do with this information. So we actually have a website that we partner with Carolina Hunger Initiative on. It's summermealsfornckids.org. And on this website, you can find a Summer Meals Toolkit where you can take your community profile, and there are different tools in that toolkit to take the data from the profile, put it in there to use it to do press releases, to do marketing materials, to do PowerPoint presentations for your school board or for other leadership groups. So there are a lot of really good resources on there, or on that website. And then on the next slide, there's a QR code. Oh, not that slide. So this is just an example of the slides in the toolkit that you can use for your leadership presentations. And then on the next slide, we have a QR code there to our website with more resources. So there's a lot of social media templates on our website. There's a Farm to Summer toolkit. There's graphics for the 304 number where you can text food or comida and find out where meals are in your area. So you can put that out there for your families and your parents. And there's all kinds of other resources. So I encourage you to check out that website. Next slide, please. All right, this is a small snapshot from one of those profiles, and I mentioned already, you know, there's some data on there that you can use to find out, you know, what are the underserved areas or time periods. So on this one, for example, you can see that meals weren't served in August. So can we fill that need as a school nutrition family, or is there somebody else who can fill that need? Is there another sponsor that can do it in August if we can't because we're getting ready to go back to school? So there's a lot of different things that you can use that profile for and think through on. All right, next slide, please. Sorry, Andrew, he's adjusting the camera there. All right, so I want to thank the USDA team from CIRO that's here today, and they help us celebrate all of our wonderful work that we're doing in summer nutrition, all the wonderful sponsors' work. And one of the ways they do that is with the Turn Up the Beat Award, and it recognizes outstanding summer meal program sponsors who serve high-quality meals that are appetizing, appealing, and nutritious. So we had a silver award winner this year, and they unfortunately could not be here today, but I want to show you anyway who that award winner was, and that was Beaufort County Schools. So they did a wonderful job last summer. They actually had an intern as well from the Carolina Hunger Initiative. And on the next slide, we can see some of the wonderful things that they did. They had appealing menus featuring student favorites. They served all of their grains as whole grain rich, which is quite a feat. They had fresh fruit and salads offered daily, and they served local produce as often as they could during the summer. They also, on the next slide, had billboards. So they had billboards in their community advertising free summer meals. They had yard signs and they had flyers, and they had them in different languages as well, which was really exciting. So they're meeting the needs of their community. They also partnered with Hyde and Beaufort County Literacy Association to provide a book with meals. So once a week, the library would come in, the students would come in, or the children would come in for a meal, and they would get a book to take home and read that week. So that's one really good example of partnering with another group, and it's something to entice the kids to come in. They're excited about those books. So they had a really wonderful program last year, and I'm excited to see what they do this year. So I encourage all of you, if you are summer nutrition sponsors, to check out Turn Up the Beat, because it's a wonderful way to celebrate your program, help your community know about it. They've gotten a lot of press from this with their school board and with other leaders in their community. So I'm very excited about that. All right, next slide, please. Here's a few more resources. Summer Food, Summer Moves is actually a USDA resource. You can Google that real quick. And the other resources we have mentioned already as part of the other QR code in the link that you saw earlier in the slide, but really great resources out there to help you get started and to help you just figure out how to make your summer program the destination that you want it to be. All right, next slide. And we will see you this summer. We are very excited. We'll be out and about, and we'll bring Ray with us. If you want Ray to come, we love it. So thank you guys so much.